Hello, everyone. I'm Jesus, and welcome to the next episode of the Road to Old School MTG. So I have two packages here, again from TCG Player. So these cards are strictly for X Points Old School. I'm going in a new direction, trying a mono black X Points Old School deck. I've played a couple times already in the X Points format, two tournaments now, and both times I've dealt with mono black decks, and both times I was destroyed by them. So I've been very surprised by their power, consistency, because both times I lost 0-2, right? So I lost both games very quickly against two different opponents with very similar decks. So that inspired me to want to try it myself. But this is my own spin on it. In general, I try not to just copy card for card something that I see online, or at least what I've done is maybe try it out, especially through Cockatrice, which I'm going to show again because I use that to develop this deck that I'm going to show you. So I may use that and then just to test out the deck without committing any money or taking out the cards, things like that. Actually having the cards physically. So I use that program to test things out, and then usually I end up not liking certain things about the deck that I see online, and then I make my own changes to it anyway, right? So something similar happened with this one. There was a deck that I took a picture of, and which was either I don't think it won the tournament, but it was one of the finalists, and I believe it was one of the decks that either I lost against, or at least is similar enough to one of the decks I lost against. So I use that as a springboard to then change things up and then put my own spin on it, right? So but the main base of the deck is the same, right? I just added a couple things here and there. All right, so I guess let me show Cockatrice first, the program that I used to develop this deck. To start local game and load deck. So I believe, let me see, what did I call it? Mono black at X Points. I'm not sure if it was at the X Points. I think X Points was this is the one that was the exact version of the deck that I saw online, and then the two should be my version with some changes. Let's see. Yes, this is definitely my version. Okay. So the version that I saw online didn't have winter orbs, right? So I just noticed, from my thinking, that seems to be one of the weak points of this deck. Like, it's very strong starting, and in fact, that's how basically I lost. I lost very quickly. Right, so it's consistently strong in the beginning, right? So won't take that away. But in case it's not, or maybe it goes against a deck that can withstand that, strong initial start, what do you do after that? So I thought a nice twist on it would be me adding winter orbs as a main component to the deck, right? So I emphasize being strong in the beginning, going all out, and then locking the game very soon with a winter orb, turn 3, turn 4. And then that wouldn't affect me too much. Having that on board, I could still do most of the things that I want to do. But it was still hampered the opponent by a lot, I would say, right? So this is my version. First, IC manipulators. So this is old school, right? So this version they use. So whenever you hover over a card, it'll show you the card image, right? But I have the actual unlimited IC manipulators, right? Because this is old school, 93, 94. Right. So keep that in mind as you're seeing these card images. I can't really control too much what card image I use, or else I would just use all the original art for these samples. Okay. So also two IC manipulators, I thought that'd be a nice twist as well. So they could work both as to turn off the winter orb, so it doesn't affect me, it only affects the opponent. And then also that will work nicely with the Royal Assassins, right? So I tap something and then I can destroy it. Right? A lot of times when somebody brings out a Royal Assassin, I've had that brought out against me. I just don't attack, right? And then wait for my source to plowshares, right? Something to destroy it, and then I just attack, right? So this is a nice way. So I get two for one value. Icy Manipulator, actually more than that. It turns off the Winter Orbs, has synergy with the Royal Assassin, and honestly, just since this deck is supposed to be strong, if I can get an Icy Manipulator out quick, I can tap one of their lands, right? And that could, consider I have 4 sinkholes here. Where are they? Instant or sorcerer, there's 4 sinkholes. It's it attacks the mana base, right? So that just takes away another land, and then I could be selective about which one I tap during the opponent's upkeep. So it's it works well with that. So this is what I'm envisioning, right? Of course, once I test it out, for real, and then I'm sure I'll have some tweaks to it. But this is my spin on it. 4 Backing Lights, that's pretty standard. 4 Hypnotic Specters, that's standard. 4 Order of the Ebon Hands, that's standard. Royal Assassins, also pretty standard. This is another twist of mine. Will of the Wisps. I think I've seen them, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I had 1 or 2 of these, right? So, but it wasn't in the other one, right? So it's not, Will of the Wisps are not consistently in here. And for me, the way I'm making this deck, like it's the use that I'm getting for it, I feel is a little different from for when I faced it. So Will of the Wisp has nice synergy with Bad Moon. Actually, every creature has synergy with Bad Moon. +1/+1 to all black creatures. So initially, what I wanted to do is here go Stone Throwing Devils, right? But those cards are very expensive because they've been banned. So like Speculators has made that card become very expensive. But ideally, that's a great card to have, right? But I just didn't want to spend $50 for commons, right? They're common cards. So they're 1/1 first strike. So first strike is pretty strong here because, and that would also has energy because Black Knights Order the Upper Hand. So I have a lot of first strike stuff happening, right? And then first strike plus pump is even stronger, right? So who knows? I might just bite the bullet and just buy the Stone Throwing Devils in the future anyway, right? But I didn't want to commit to that price, especially not knowing how good if I would have preferred that or Will of the Wisp. So I just went Will of the Wisp route because I already had them, and I think it serves. It's not as aggro, so that's one drawback. But it still has benefits. First of all, it's a flyer, so it can get around. Can go attack from above. All I need is 1 Bad Moon, and then it can deal damage. Of course, regenerates is strong, especially against if I'm going against another strong creature deck. Will of the Wisp can be then defensive. So it has dual purpose, right? So it's with a Bad Moon, it can attack from above, and it's naturally just a good defensive creature, especially with Sarah Angels, Urnam Djinns, Jusam Djinns, Serendipity Freaks, right? So it's a lot of fast creatures come out very quickly. So if an opponent has for turn 1, turn 2, Jusam Djinn, I bring that out. That's a big benefit to me. So it's multifaceted. Its purpose here. So I'm giving that a shot, but I do like the idea. So Bad Moons, that's standard, although I see mainly 2. So my twist is I'm delving deeper into Bad Moons because I want it to be more aggro, and then after I put out the Winter Orb, if I bring out a creature, a 2-mana creature, or maybe a 1-mana creature, it's even stronger because I already had a Bad Moon hopefully in play, right? So, or if I don't, and I get a bad moon, even if I went to warp, I can quickly bring it out anyway, right? Whether I'm tapped out or not, it could be easy, especially with also it's pretty standard for dark rituals. One greed, right? Just to be more aggro, consistently get more draws. Paralyze is pretty standard, right? So that's nothing new there. That's a good synergy with Royal Assassins, and just I feel it's even stronger synergy with the Winter Orbs, right? So Paralyze is standard in these kind of decks because it's right 1 mana. Somebody brings out Juice Engine, 1 mana, boom. Now the opponent has to pay 4 mana every turn if he wants to attack with that creature, right? So very strong card for just 1 mana, but then becomes even stronger with Winter Orb, right? So that's why I really like that Winter Orb twist, because I felt it naturally works with a lot of stuff here anyway. A lot of the standard cards, right? So 4 Mishra's Factories, right? So that one is, I'm still, I definitely like the idea. It is Mishra's Factories is standard in this, right? But it can be hampered due to Winter Orbs, right? So it's give or take there. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I decided to just keep it because it's 2 for 1. I get mana, and also it can be a creature as well. Strip Mine, that's pretty standard. And then Swamps here. I did not have enough Swamps in my personal collection. So some of the cards I bought here are actually just plain Swamps. And then one Urberg, Urberg, and this is another card I did not have. This is pretty standard to have one of these. I haven't seen more than one in a whole deck, right? Because it's a legendary land, taps for black, so it's just as good as a swamp. And also can tap to remove, what does it say? Target creature loses first strike or swamp walk until end of turn, right? So if the opponent has first strike creature, Elvish Archer, right? I can take their first strike away, and then this can attack. Black Knights, or my hands will still have their first strike, right? So it's a pretty strong card for specifically for this deck. The special abilities may or may not come into play, but it's at least a good option to have, right? Hypnotorak, that's of course standard, and then Sinkhole, that's also standard. Definitely the most expensive card, Sinkhole, but not by much. These are like $30, $20, depending on the condition. Orberg also like 20, 30, depending on the condition, right? But those are the most expensive. Everything else is cheap. For the most part, I guess. Winter Orbs maybe like $5, $6, $7, depends, right? But when you compare to hundreds, thousands, even many hundreds, even going to the thousands for one card, depending on the card, this deck is extremely cheap. And then some of the cards that are in this packet here. So first of all, I have for my own collection that I already had, I have 51 cards from here, main deck. So I still need 9 cards. Some of those are swamps. And then this sideboard, which I'm going to look at right now, I had 12 of the cards. I needed 3 more, right? So here, let's see, I already have that. Royal Assassins I didn't have, so I'm getting those here. Orberg, like I said, I didn't have, so 2, 3. And then just, I believe the rest is just swamps. I definitely need like a few, like 5, 6 swamps. So I think that's the rest of it. We'll see when I open it up, if I miss anything. But from what I see here, that's what it is. And remember, this is X points, right? So that's why I don't have 4 Hypnotorax, or else I would have 4. For now, they each count as 2 points. I've been reading stuff, they get bumped down to 1, which I would agree with. But for now, they're 2 points each. So 2, 4, 6. And then Mishra's Factory is 1 point each. 7, 8, 9, 10. That's my 10 points right there. All right. So for the sideboard, the 3 cards I didn't have was Mixstone. So I bought 3 of them right here. That's in I believe this is in this package. So Mixstone 1 colorless, which is strong. Let's say I do first turn Dark Ritual, I can then, of course, first turn hippies ideal. That's probably the strongest combo I can do on the first turn. But also very nice will be maybe first turn Black Knight, Meek Stone, once I put it in the sideboard, right? So I really like that it was 1 mana, right? Because a lot of times I may not want to do a Dark Ritual first turn only because I have something for 2 mana, but I have nothing for 1 mana, right? Paralyzes are good if I went second, right? But if I went first, which I usually would prefer, I can't play that first turn paralyze, right? And of course, then the opponent also has to have something worthy of me wanting to paralyze, right? So that's why also one of the woods are a good fit there for that, right? But Meek Stone as well. So no creatures with power greater than 2 untapped during their controller's untapped phase, right? So with this, I gotta have to be careful because of course I have Bad Moon. So I would probably, if I had these, I would probably remove the Bad Moons. Or at least I would wait, be selective with it. This is not one of those artifacts that I can tap to turn off, right? So no player. So Winter Orb now says, the errata. If Winter Orb is untapped, players do not untap lands during their more than 1 land during their untap phase, right? So it's been specifically edited to be turned on or off, quote unquote, by ice manipulators or anything that makes it tap, right? But the card has to say that. So I believe Meekstone does not say that, right? So Winter Orb here doesn't say it, but it's been errata, and then newer versions do say that, right? So I'm not sure about Meekstone. So I gotta double check if it does. That's even stronger. But I'm pretty certain it doesn't turn off, right? So that trick wouldn't work there. But I've seen the nice thing about a lot of these online tournaments, they post the deck photos, right? So everybody's supposed to submit a deck photo before the tournament starts, and then those photos get revealed once the group stages gets past, players get past that stage. And then I've been seeing a lot of top 8 decks have Winnie decks. So then no creature with power greater than 2. Okay, so actually, this is reverse. This is the one against that, right? So actually, that reminds me. So this one actually is the reverse. This one is good for the big creature decks that come out fast, right? So first turn, second turn, Jusam Jin. First turn, first, second turn, Ernam. First turn, Serendi. This is the card against that particular deck, right? So I was mistaken, but that's for that one, right? But still, I get impacted by Bad Moons, right? So if I bring this out, that's good for those kind of decks. Really strong, big creature in aggro decks. The good thing about those decks is they tend to not have as many threats, right? Because it takes more resources to bring those out faster. So if I can hamper in one way or another, like with Meek Stones, then they may get 1 pop-up from that creature, 1 attack, and that's it, unless they destroy the Meek Stone. So it's pretty strong, right? So it definitely, and then of course it doesn't affect my creatures unless Bat Moon, but it's pretty strong. So Navineros, this is actually my twist on it. All the other so Navineros, that's pretty standard for this deck because black doesn't have any artifact or enchantment destruction, right? So this takes care of that. But of course, it destroys everything in play, basically. So I have to be careful. It has to be really against certain decks for this to be worth it, right? And if I bring these in, I probably will play conservatively a bit, right? Because I know hopefully I will eventually reach one of these and probably pop it, right? So it changes the game plan a little bit, adding these cards. Gloom, right? So this is just for, actually I lost against an opponent because of this. I was playing a white and white-blue deck, I believe. Yeah. The Phantom Geddon deck. And the opponent brought this out, totally wrecked my deck. So very strong, not just against just white in general, control, whatever, aggro, but especially white weenie, right? First turn, Dark Ritual Gloom, boom, they cannot play a first turn Savannah Lions, right? So it's very strong. Terror, right? That's good against, once again, those fast, aggressive big creature decks. First turn Serendip, second turn Urnam. Of course, this cannot target black or artifact creatures, right? So it's selective, but it's still pretty strong, right? So that's pretty standard. This is not standard. So this is not one of my twists. So this is where my train of thought was before with the Winnie decks. So I saw a lot of the meta is, right, it has those two extremes, very fast, big creatures, right, but less of them, right, because it takes more resources to bring them out, or a lot of Winnie creatures, right? They take less resources. You just bring out 1 land, 2 lands, and then you can cast anything you want, right? So both those extremes are very represented very heavily in the top 8, or just top 16 in general, right? So these are my 2 cards to combat that from both extremes. Pestilence, very strong, and the good thing is that if I play it right, it'll stay in play, and right. So as opposed to a one-shot thing like Wrath of God or whatever, I can't play Wrath of God here, right? But just something similar, some kind of board wipe, kind of like Nevinyrrow's this. That's another option to play with those kind of decks, but it can't. 4 mana plus comes in tapped. That by that point I may be dead, right? So I feel this is a better solution, but we'll see, right? But this is my train of thought, and I didn't have the mix stone, so this should be right here. So I just wanted to go through the process of why I chose what for, how I developed the deck. I played all the games here, and now I'm putting the finishing touches. So here's now the deck that physically right here. I do need to bring out something. So I think I might run out of these perfect fit sleeves. So we'll see. But these are the ones that are not being used. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna need another one. All right. And so I got all these cards from TCG Player. Actually, I guess let me now reference that page. All right, so here is Mixed Stones 3. I got them from, revised. Oh, really? Okay, I thought, oh yeah, but I got them in live play because near mint was significantly higher, right? Not that I can't afford it or anything, but just sometimes, just certain cards, I don't feel a need. They're not very iconic, at least to me. Just I don't have to every single card. I don't have to optimize. Buy something for optimal condition, right? So this one I just needed something to get the job done while it's still looking good, at least decently enough. All right, so 559 each. I got 3 of them. Near mint. Oh, my mistake. Lightly play. So let's see. So here's I opened it up there. Just a regular envelope. No protection. It came in the receipt though. All right, so little cardboards there to cover it up, but it also makes it hard to remove. Ooh. That is, I don't like that. On one side, it's the actual card. It's not even inside the top loader, because it's 3 cards. That's hard to fit. First of all, let me double check. Maybe I'm wrong and it's on both sides. No, it should be on the other side. Yeah. So, right. So pretty strong, even plasticky, right? It's not really cardboard, more plastic. Okay, two of them were inside the top loader. One of them was not. If I had cut it on the other side, I might actually have damaged the card, the one that was outside, right? So I did not like this placement here. All right, we'll see though. All right, so top loader, regular, used one. 3 came in penny sleeves. They're supposed to be, oh, I should made this. Yeah, this one's a perfect fit sleeve actually. Are they all perfect fit? If so, then I might, oh no, I was considering keeping them, but they're pretty worn out. Yeah, actually, yeah, they're all perfect fit. You see how? No wiggle. So, all right. Unfortunately, they're used. I guess once the card is on, I guess it's barely visible. Well, we'll see. All right. So 3. Yeah, pretty good condition. Yeah, definitely. 2, this one has a bigger issue with a little chip at the bottom. The other 2 seem better from the back. And here, like even here, you can see a big variation in the, unfortunately, the camera situation has not been improved upon. So I know I'm not getting the best image quality here. But even there, you can see big variation in the color. Sometimes I think, okay, maybe I got a unlimited card, right? Because that's one of the main, things you notice between revised and unlimited, different color, the intensity of the color. Unlimited is more stronger, but no, these are all revised. But it's good to know it's not just cookie cutter. They're all exactly the same. There's variation within that. All right, I think I'm happy with it. 3 meek stones, so that one is fine. So now over here, because let me reference now the other one. And then I just took the chance to also get additional cards, right? So I'm always building up my collection of things. So Death Grip. Death Grip is actually one of the cards that is routinely in the deck. For me, I didn't want, so I wanted to get them just to have them, right? Because they're strong. I might just end up putting them anyway, right? So we'll see. But for me, I felt like it wouldn't fit the deck too much because you have to pay to counter a green spell per spell, 2 black mana, right? And then with my Winter Orbs out, it's they're both different strategies, right? So it's just, I felt it wouldn't work, but I still wanted 4 of them anyway, right? So near mint, most of these are in near mint. Fallen Angels, 4 from Chronicles, near mint. Never this, I had 2 already. I needed 2 more. But these I got 4th edition. I had the other 2 I have is revised. So I needed, this deck only has 3 of them, not 4, right? But I just, in general, I like to have a full playset. So this completes the playset, near mint, but in 4th. Nightmare, I had to do several because no one person had 4 of them. 105 to 109, so just a $1 card. Near mint in 4th edition. And then here are the 2 Royal Assassins. Since I've seen mostly 2, I wanted to keep it at 2, but I'm sure I'll add the other two at a future date for, once again, to complete the playset. Mostly just for that, right? Maybe I might anticipate maybe putting a third, but definitely not a fourth, right? So that's more just for my own OCD purposes. And lightly played in 4th edition also. Revised was a lot more expensive, and even in the 4th edition near mint was a lot more expensive, right? So for the expense for the just slightly lower grade, and in 4th edition, I didn't, just this card is, has no sentimental value to me, much, or at least much of it. I just needed the card, right? So lightly played is fine. All right, here we go. The lands. So for about 6 of them, I think I only needed 5. But I just wanted to complete, once again, OCD, complete from based on what I already had. This just completes a few more of them. Lightly played, and then a couple of them near mint. These are the different price ranges, right? Tormod script. This is, once again, just a handy card to have. I may use it, may not. In this deck, I'm not, but I wanted to have them. And Chronicles near mint, 44 cents. Here it is. Urberg, lightly played, $19. One only. Near mint is like $30, right? So lightly played is perfectly fine for me. Just I wanted to keep the cost down. Okay. And just to be thorough, in a previous video I made regarding the Alice format, Ice Age Alliances, I was missing 2 incoming Jester's Caps. I have received them, so I did get them the 2. I already opened them up, so now I do have the full 4 playsets of Jester's Cap Ice Age, right? So just to be thorough, I wanted to update that information. All right. So this nice strong outside package. Here's the receipt. Tape it to this so it doesn't shake around, which I appreciate, but it can, you still got to tug at it strongly. All right. What the heck? I had this one through both sides. Maybe got thrashed around a little during transit. Oops. Oh, yeah, no, I don't have to. All right. So I guess let's reference the list, the purchase order as I see them. So let's see, the Death Grips, I said 4 of them, and then let's do a couple of them. The Minerals this, and then the Fallen Angels. All right, so let's look at those 4 Death Grips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 Fallen Angels, 2 Minerals this. All of these are supposed to be in near mint condition, but this is TCG player after all. Death Grips look nice from the front, all revised. Look nice on the back, yeah, near mints. That's fine. Fallen Angels, Chronicles, near mint as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, look nice in the back. I mean, in the front. Look, except for one, looks good in the back. Even and that one has a bit of a dent. I think that disqualifies it from near mint. It should, at least. This should be light play, but whatever, it's cheap enough, and the other ones are fine. So I guess that's good enough. And then the 2 Minerals this in 4th edition, right? It'll say the year 1995. All these other cards up to revise have no date. You have to know what to spot in the actual physical cards to know which set it is before that. But these have 1995 copyright date on them. So fronts looks nice on both of them. Back look nice. Yep, near mint for both of these. All right, so that was fine. Let's reference the page again. So now the nightmares, near mint, fourth edition. Here they are. The two royal assassins, fourth edition, lightly played, these say. All right, let's do those because then it's just lands and artifacts. All right. The nightmares are all near mint. Royal Assassin's supposed to be lightly played. All right. Royal Assassins right there. They look near mint from the front. Yeah, definitely a little scratches here and there. Yep, especially this one right here. I don't know if you can see it. I mean, and it's barely, right? It's pretty strong. I guess the weathering here, you can see it a bit more. But I've noticed even from, I think weathering is just common, period. You know, just from being in the packs for so long. Could be decades. So that's not necessarily a sign that it's been used. But I think this one has. Or at least definitely was affected by weathering a lot. Right. So this one shows its age more than this one. This one is near mint from the back as well. So all in all, decent. I mean, they're supposed to be light played anyway, right? So they are light played, definitely, at the least. Nightmare, these are supposed to be near mint. They look near mint from the front. Little weathering, but I think that's from age. Yeah, near mint from the back also. So that's fine. Let me reference the remaining cards. 4 Tormod's Crypt, near mint, Chronicles, 1 Orberg, lightly played Legends. So I guess let's do that. Orberg, lightly played, I see scuffing there. I guess, yeah, I guess this is lightly played. I won't complain too much about it. Honestly, if it has a bit of a jagged edge right on this, even here you can see it, right? So it's, where is this camera? I guess the background here, you don't see it that much. There it is, right? So you can see a bit of it. The camera is horrible there. Okay, so, but lightly played, I guess, whatever. Good enough. All right, Tormod's Script, supposed to be near mint. Chronicles 1. Ooh, this one is, and it has a scratch. You cannot, oh yeah, oh look at that. You cannot, even with this, oof, look at that. Right there, right there. Just looking at it quick, you can, actually not even. And then there's a whole line. I don't even know if it can be, that line is there the whole time. This thing is played, moderately played. It just, you know, it's not weathered, but it has scratches, deep scratches, smudges, dirt, you know, just not visible. You know, if you just skim through it, you'll miss it. Extremely disappointing in that one. And let's see the back on that one. So this is the horrible one. The back looks fine. It's fine. Fine. Light play maybe, but I guess. Fine. All right, so yeah, just one of these is really jacked up condition. But these are all extremely cheap. Let's see. Tormod's Script, 44 cents each. It's more on the annoyance than anything else, right? If he had 44 cents in play condition, right? And then, you know, all from the same seller, I would have just picked it anyway, right? So I don't care that it was 44 cents. I just care that it's annoying that it's marked as near mint and it's not. I'm willing to buy stuff that's not in your mint, right? Lightly played, maybe even less than that. As long as I get told, that's what I'm gonna get. All right, so the swamps. Okay. Interesting. They're all supposed to be revised, and they are revised. I can tell by the placement of the artist's name. But here you can see a big difference. Look at the middle ones in comparison to the ones at the ends. And these are definitely revised. So this is where sometimes I think like I got by luck, I got unlimited. But the thing that you look out for is the artist name. That's the main thing I look out for. It's in the center of the border, as opposed to revise is lower at the lower bottom. Here, this camera, you cannot even tell that thing. Maybe you can see a little something, probably not. But they all have that, right? So unless I'm missing something, these seem all revised. But it just, it's a little curious that they're huge difference. This looks like it's like 4th edition. All right, but near mint, they look fine. Yeah, basic lens. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, maybe more some of these lightly played, but whatever. Nothing egregious like the other one. I'm seeing something, but even that, lightly played. Some of these should have been bumped to lightly played, but not a big deal. All right, so let me count them. 1 swamp from this one, 1 swamp for this one, yep, and then 4 of these, yep. Right, so my order is complete, definitely fine. Also adding the meek stones from before. All right, so pretty happy with that. So now to finish up the deck. So this is, here we have my Game Genic deck boxes. I had this one from the last video, I believe. I wanted white for my Alice deck, and then I liked it so much. Like, I thought, definitely I could, if I, cram it down, I could fit these dice in there or whatever I want. But just a regular 60 card deck with sideboard fits, nicely, right? It's not, it's not super loose in here, right? Even with just 75 cards double sleeved. It's a little, but not super, like I said, super loose. And then this, I had the lid off, that's why it just flopped open. But fully closed, it is strong, right? So I like it is, when it's packaged correctly, it's strong. So I liked it so much, I got another one. So this one will be for old school, but honestly, now I'm thinking I need a third one because I am consistently playing both old, 1994 old school and X points. And then, like I said, this is now a mono black deck, which is totally different card sets, a set of cards from my normal old school thing that I do, which is usually Erlenmegeddon, Bantamgeddon, right? Some kind of, just green aggro with other colors mixed in, depending, what I decide to do. Slightly different strategies, either Armageddon, Winter Orb, Ice Storms now, right? So it's, can change. But this is totally different, right? And like I said, this is the deck type mono black that was wrecked at consistently. So I might very much need a third box. That way I can keep my regular 1994 old school deck there, and then this one, or whichever one I assign it to, right? I'll get a different color, will be for X points, right? So I might just end up getting a third. We'll see, right? But now to complete the deck. So here it is. I have 15 1 main deck cards, 12 sideboard cards. So I guess let's do the sideboard, right? So now this is me. This is what I would do for, once I get a card, sleeve it up, things like that, right? So just wanted to show that side of it. Wait. There's something ish. The rack. I think I did something different there. Okay, I see. Ooh, I think I need more than that. Maybe I decided to change things. We'll see. Okay. Yeah. So made a mistake there. I think I was playing around with this sideboard. So okay. So yeah, this is standard. The rack is standard in black sideboard for a mono black deck. Right. So I think I put it here. Initially, like I said, first I just built the regular deck as a net deck, just got it exactly as is. But then I tweaked it, right? So by May, I just forgot to remove these. Right. So then I might as well do the sideboard then. 3 tarots, I got him. 3 glooms, I got him. 2 Nevinyrrals this. I need the 3rd one, right? I got 2, right? But for this deck, I just need 1 more. So these I don't need at all for this deck, so I'm gonna put it back. The black vices there. So let me get 1 Nevinyrrals this where they are. Okay, they're both the same. Here it is. That's the 3rd. Then I got the 3 meek stones. I need all 3 of them here. So I bought only 3, so I still need 1 more for my OCD compulsion to get 4, right? So, but I have the 3 for this deck. So now 1 more Nevinyrrals completes the set. 3 glooms I should already have here. Yep, and then the 3 tarots. So I need to put 3 pestilence in here. And then the rest of this is just, for the most part, it's just for the collection. All right, so this is here. That's nightmares are not being used, but so are death grips and falling angels. Now for the deck, I said I needed 9 cards. I guess I needed 6 swamps and then 7, 8, 9 here. We'll see. I'll double check, right? Because I made a mistake on the main deck as well, right? But I know I needed the Royal Assassins, the Urberic, and I need a more basic lands. All right. So this is the deck from what I already had. 4 Mishra's Factories. Let's compare. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had 9 from my own personal collection from way back in the day. 9 basic planes. That fit the 93, 94 old school border art stipulation. So 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I only need a 5. I have 6 here. And that's what I remember. I remember I just needed 5. So one of these is extra, right? So I just need to sleep up 5 for this deck. 2. And then 2 Icy Manipulators, 3, 1, 2 Orbs. That's correct. 4 Black Knights. That's there. 4 Hanada Specters. That's there. 4 Order of the Ebon Hand. That's there. 3 Will of the Woods. That's there. Bat Moons 1, 2, 3. That's there. 1 Greed. 3 Paradise. That's there. 4 Dark Rituals. That's there. 3 Hymns. That's there. 4 Sinkholes. That's there. So which card was missing? So let's see. There. 2 Royal. That's I'm missing. I got the Wills. I got that. So 2 Royals. That's 2. Oh, the Strip Mine, right? I never said a Strip Mine. That's the one yep, that's the land. I was missing 1 card because I have 1 here. I counted it beforehand. I needed 9, 5, 6, 7, 8. Strip minus the 9. Okay, so that clears up. And I remember why I don't have that strip land mine here, because that's the 1 card I am using in another deck, in my 93, 94 deck. So I'll pull that card and put it here just to complete it. But this is pretty standard for me, where I have to share certain cards if there's, if I need them for 2 decks simultaneously. In this case, I only needed that 1 card strip mine, right? I have 4 of them. I'm not going to buy a 5th or whatever, just so I can have more of them. Then I don't have to swap, right? It's just, for me, I don't like that idea. Even though I could do it with strip mine, because strip mine does have actual different art. So if I get more of them, I could mentally tolerate it if I tell myself that, hey, I'm just getting the different land versions, right? So we'll see. But for me, I don't think I'll get the other lands ever. It's not important to me. But the importance is me having 4 strip mines. And I already have them, so I just have to swap them back and forth as needed. All right, so never knows this, that, all this is getting sleeved up. So let me double check on the lands. And once again, OCD, what I had, and then what I needed. And then some of these are little, definitely, I don't know if you can notice some of these with this big light. Since these are my own personal collection, I have mix of revised and 4th edition seems. Yeah. I wanted to, so I have to clean some of these up. I've been actually cleaning other ones, just Q-tip, little wet, right? This is more for aesthetic purposes. I don't really care much if I damage these particular cards. Whereas when I was cleaning my icy manipulator, I definitely was trying to be extremely careful with that while I was cleaning those, right? So this, I just find it really, I could have just bought all near mint, right? These look way better, big, huge difference. Look at that, right? And who knows, maybe in the future I decide to do that. But I just think it's cool for me to actually use some of my actual cards, even if I had to put a little elbow grease and wipe some of these off, right? Look how much better these look compared to that, right? It's night and day, because these basically are new. These have 30 years of use. These have no use. They're brand new, basically, right? Freshly open. That's what they feel like, and that's what they look like in comparison. Nostalgia, once again, this is the reason why I'm doing all of this, nostalgia, right? This is, personally important to me. So I just do it this way. So I have 4 of these. I only have 1 of this one. So just to round it off, if I add 3, yeah, this is this one that was missing. So 3 adds 4, 4, 4, 12. So I have 14. So I have to add 2 of them. I guess these, I'll take the one with the super thick, strong colors out, right? Because to me, revise is more the washed out colors. All right. So now I know what I need to sleeve up, at least when it comes to these basic lines. All right. So now just time to sleeve them up. So let's see them here. So I had to recently bought more of these. I'm consistently buying the same ones, same color, so that this allows me to swap the cards as needed between decks as I need it, right? Because they all have the same covers. And I did it also for Ice Age, right? I mean, Alice, even though those are totally different card sets. I was thinking about it, and I thought maybe there might be a situation in the future where I have to share those. Because even though, these, the formats that I'm playing, 1994 Old School, Alice, right? They're separate formats. In reality, Ice Age was played with revised and right dual lands. So like these are somewhat artificial separations. Back in the day, as it was happening, revised and Alice, Ice Age alliances, they went together. So keeping that in mind, I thought, hey, maybe there's a set. Oops, I covered up the wrong one. Oh no, there it is. I'm thinking maybe in the future, as another format develops that's more consistent with the true chronology of the game, which I would be totally in full, really, it would be really cool for me. I would jump at a chance to play something like that. And so that's the main reason why I didn't go for a different color for Alice, because I thought like, okay, great, I can do a different color. These reds are getting annoying, right? Just for the sheer fact that it's just so it's boring. But I have that hope that maybe a format can become popular, right? Because anybody can play whatever, right? It's not like something's preventing me from doing it. What's preventing me is that nobody else wants to do it. So who am I going to play against if I say, hey, who wants to play revised with Alice? Right. So that's the main. That's the only reason why I don't do that. Because I literally cannot play against anybody. But maybe that becomes a thing in the future. And if so, then my Alice also had the same deck sleeves here, colored. All right, so these are the new ones that I need for here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 3 additional for the sideboard. All right, so they went in the perfect sleeves. I used my brand new ones because the other ones the ones that came here were not pretty. All right, so now let me take a couple of these out for the new cards that I have here. All right, so pretty excited to play this new deck because it's also Erlangen, Bantengen, is getting a little stale as well. And I could go into this deck for very, very cheaply. So that's what really impressed me about this. It's strength, its consistency, but also its cost. I was joking. I don't know if I actually said it to the opponent or just thinking it to myself. Like I bought a Mox, it was doing some cool stuff, and then the guy wrecked me. I'm like, whoa, this one Mox cost more than his entire deck, and he still destroyed me. And not only just one Mox, the cost of his whole deck is like by several times. Like I could buy his deck like 4 or 5 times for the cost of any one of my Moxes. Right, and my Moxes is just collector's edition. So I was really impressed by the performance, by the value. And this is not my stab at it, and the value is true. Orberg is the most expensive thing I had to go with this single card. Everything else is basically super cheap, except even the Royal Assassins, right? If I got them near mint revised, then that's a lot more. But just for me to get them in a decent condition, I got them in a lightly played in 4th edition, and I got it. Honestly, they seem near mint to me. So sometimes that's TCG play for you. hit or miss. You get what you pay for sometimes. Sometimes it's a little off, but within an acceptable margin. Sometimes it's way off. And it's up to you if you're going to complain about it or not. As for your money back, I don't know. For me, a lot of these cards are so cheap that it's not worth the hassle. I just try not to. I make a mental note about what was the company that did it, and then I try not to use their services again. All right, so I need the, right, so here, this one completes the set of 3 Nirvana rolls. 3, 6, 9. That completes the 3 mix stones. Oh, and what I was doing before, I was flattening the new cards because air pockets developed from inserting the double sleeves. 3, 6, 9, 12. And then I still need the 3 pestilences. So this is a nice opportunity for me to show off some of the cards that I have. And actually, I need to put these here. I gotta double check if pestilence is one of the cards. Oh, okay. So now I remember why I didn't have the pestilence. It's because I was missing these. So this is right here. All my old school cards that are not sleeved. I have several other boxes with the sleeves cards. I guess I should show them. Here's one, filled to the brim. And then I have another one, also pretty filled, maybe not as much. Let's see. Might as well show the real ones. Okay, this is my Alice one of not sleeved cards. For Alice is basically, since I only have this one deck, only the deck is sleeved. I have no any other Alice cards that I bought. I have is just to keep handy. This is my other box. Still a little space here for more as needed, right? But these are the cards I keep sleeves, so that way I can swap them as needed. But not everything is sleeves. This is now the ones that are not sleeved. Okay, so I open this one up. So here they go by color: red, green, white, black, blue, with lands, artifacts, and whatever. All right, so I guess I'll fit the land here. These are all the ones that are just staples that I wanted to have handy. And I go by casting cost. So format script, now it's number 1. Now I'll look for casting cost, nothing there. I fit the number and rolls this. All right. That completes that. For lands and artifact, now I need nightmares. I go by casting cost, right? So I gotta keep that in mind. So I go to the black section after the white. And of course, this is how I do it. You can do it however way you want. All right, there we go. Death grip. And I go by casting cost, like I said, but also how much. Bad Moon is 1 black, 1 colorless. Death grip is 2 black. So technically that's a little harder to cast. Oh, here we go. Pestilence. 4 pestilences. I need only 3 for the sideboard. They're there. I need to sleeve those. Now for the rest of these cards, for Fallen Angels, same casting cost as the Sinjir Vampires, and then now I got the 4 Nightmares. All right, so these are just the staples that are not being used, but I wanted them handy. That's where I keep it, right? This is how I do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it this way, but it just at least gives you idea of different ways to accomplish the the actual using of these cards, the actual playing of these cards, sleeving them, so forth, storing them, cataloging them. Right, so yeah, that's why I hadn't prepared the pestilences before, because I had ran out of these, but I just got them as well. So now I need these 3. I still need my 1 strip mine from that other deck. The other deck I'm making my other on the 9394 deck. That one is 4 strip mine version. So 4 strip mine deck. That's why I don't have any more strip mines left, because all 4 are being used in the other deck. But I just sneak it out just so I can use this deck. So whenever I'm having a game with this deck, I'll have to take out that 1 strip mine from the other deck. When I play the other deck in a different tournament, I'll have to make the swap again, right? So it's a little annoying, but I'd rather do that than buy extra, because to me that just seems like a waste. And even though these cards are not, a lot of these like Pestilence cheap, they're cheap as in money wise. Nonetheless, I respect it enough that I don't want to just have a whole bunch. Somebody else wants them too, so I don't want to just hoard something just because it's cheap. 3 terrors, 3 pestilence. All right, so this is now my completed sideboard. Let me take a little air pocket out. 3 meek stones, 3 Nevenerals this, 3 terrors, 3 glooms, 3 pestilence. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 card sideboard is complete. Good. I forgot to put this back. All right, now this deck, I need so this is where I'm keeping my other 9394 deck. Like I said, I kind of want now another one of these, and then this one can now open up for whatever, right? Because I'm sure I'll be buying more stuff. All right, so I need to, this deck has 4 strip mines. I'll just take the 1. You see, same back. So at least in this case, it's handy to look at this 1 card, Tropical Island. This 1 card is double, triple the price of that other entire deck. All right, 1 strip mine. My dog is hovering around there. All right, basic lands there, strip mine or Borg. Okay. And now, yep, the Royal Assassins fit in with the rest of the creatures. All right, this should be 15 card deck. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 swamps, 4 Mishras, so 18, 19, 20 lands. Of course, we know the sideboard already, 15 cards. I'll put that to the side. It's mono black, so everything is just black except for the artifacts. 3 Winter Orbs, 4. 2 only. Icy Manipulators. All right, creatures, 3 Will of the Wisp, 4 Order of the Ebon Hand, 4 Hypnotic Specters, 4 Black Knights, 2 only Royal Assassins. Enchantments, 3 Paralyzed, 3 Bat Moons, 1 Greed. And then other spells, 4 Dark Rituals, 4 Hymns. Oh, my mistake, 3 Hymns only, 1, 2, 3, because of the points. And 4 Sinkholes. So it's at 14, 18, 19, 20, 23, 25, 3, 28, 32, 36, 40, 42, 46, 49, 52, 53, 56, and 4 more 60 card deck. All right. All right, so now for mixing. So here and here. So of course I can still continue using my the Cockatrice program, right? It has all these same cards, but definitely there is that difference between what's a real card, what's a what's a real card, what's a program, right? So, it's just, it loses something when when it's all digital, right? So the Cockatrice I like to use initially before I commit to buying new cards, buying, whatever. And then to test things out. So that's how I can commit to try things out without committing to any new costs, because I tried out through that program first. Oh yeah, and don't mind the way I'm putting these lands in these here, right? So I just do that initially, and then everything is randomized anyway. Old habits, although I've heard, different people do pile shuffling. I've seen that being used as well. That just seems a bit more tedious. But I just give it a good shuffle. I aim for 20 of these, right? So maybe it's been like 6, so 7, 8, 9, 10. And like I was saying, right? So Cockatrice is important. I test things out. I know which cards I still need to get. I tried out a lot. But once then I made the commitment to, to physically, have these real cards. Maybe because, usually because of the tournaments coming up, I want to play this new deck or whatever deck I want to play. Right. So now I need the real cards. So at least I've done a lot of testing beforehand. Right. So, but then after that, nothing beats the testing it for real, right? All right, so here it is now completed. That's my cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. So a lot of these are, of course, cards I had already sleeved, and some of these are brand new sleeved ones, right? So they all look exactly the same. So it's pretty consistent. Opening hand, pretty strong. So 1 land only, that's weak. But I have 20 lands only, right? So it's expected that I might have low lands sometimes. So options here. So let's say I go first, right? So which I tend to want to do. First turn Royal Assassin is strong. I would prefer first turn. So if I had a him and then something for 1 mana, that would have been also a nice one. Sinkhole as well. So I would initially just play Swamp. Nothing else that I need. Pass. Okay, that's okay, not the best, right? That is one of the issues here, right? Here, right? 2 blacks, right? I need that black mana a lot of the time. All right, so, but I would then maybe go Dark Ritual, Icy. Right, Warburg, that gives me that third black. Right, so I already have an Icy, so maybe I would then tap, Sinkhole, and then I tap one of their lands, whichever one is most advantageous for me to tap. Hymns are great at any time, right? But the nice thing, if you wait for them, right, they cast their cheaper stuff, their ramp stuff, and then usually, right, they still have their Ceros and their Urnums, their Jusums in hand, right? Because they're setting up being able to cast it. Okay, so then I don't think I drew. Ooh, nice. So can I do both? Him and Royal Assassin, not enough mana, 3. Oh, actually, maybe. Yeah. Dark Ritual. I use 2. Him. I still have 1 black. Here's another black. Here's another Royal Assassin. Right. So pretty strong results here. And I still had a Winter Orb Icy combo happening there. Right. So that went well. Ooh, I forgot about putting these 4 back in my collection. Old school collection. All right, so then that went well. I tend to not test out the sideboard. The sideboard I test out mainly on Cockatrice, right? So I don't necessarily physically, kind of like I'm doing this. The decks I definitely do want to physically have the cards and test out before playing. But the sideboard, I'm just, that seems tedious by that point. But maybe I should to get my consistency higher. I've been pretty much middle of the road, which I guess is, not disappointing. And it's to be expected, I'm not going to dominate or anything, Right, so I tend to win the same amount of games I lose. Middle of the road. All right, next set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm assuming May I won the first games. Now I'm gonna go on the play. So this one, 2 swamps. So no threats though, right? So do I keep? Do I pitch? But I have the Icy Manipulator Winter Orb going, right? So even if there's not much going on, at least I can get that going, right? So plus I have a draw step coming up. Ooh, very nice. I drop this. So I can do 2, nothing for 1 mana without me wasting that 1 mana. So I will go past. Nice. Too bad I didn't have that previously. I would have first turn Dark Ritual. All right, but now I can get up to 4. Definitely want a Dark Ritual. Now it's just a matter of what do you do. I guess Order and Bad Moon is nice. Protection for white cannot be Plowshare, but maybe it gets bolted, right? I'm playing red, right? I like to do this, right? I don't always just assume, everything's going perfect because that's not how it goes. All right, so I got killed as the first creature commonly is. Next turn. Ooh, that's good. So I do want to destroy their mana base. So several options. Either I could Spectre now. That's probably the best Spectre now. Let's say it gets killed. Definitely the opponent wants to kill that ASAP. My dog is all over the place back there. But it would have been 3/3, right? So a bolt or something like that. All right, another one. So it's pretty aggressive. Here I can strip mine to slow them down. Black Knight, 3/3 first striker. That's pretty decent. Okay, now more mana. That's good. Let's say I second Bad Moon. Now it's a 4/4 first striker. That's very strong. Next turn. Ooh, even more so, I would Winter Orb, especially maybe if it depends. If the opponent hadn't done anything or like barely did anything, he barely tapped out, I would do then Icy first. And then hopefully they did something strong. They tapped out most, if not all of their lands. Whatever I get. Okay. Me, I'm not afraid to tap out and still put a Winter Orb. Right, but Winter Orb, all I need is one untap. I tap it at their end step, or I tap their land, right? Upkeep, during the untap, they untap one. Upkeep, I tap the one that they untapped, right? So that keeps them locked. Unless they have something that costs 1 mana, it'll be way harder for them to build up that mana base to do much. So pretty decent there. So yeah, I'm definitely liking this. Right, and I still haven't hit those ideal starts, right? First turn, hippie, first turn, sinkhole. Well, not first turn if I go first, right? But second turn, sinkhole is extremely doable. But first turn, him, and then Will of the Wisp. I might even eat that 1 extra mana to still go first turn him. Right, so here Max Jet would have been nice, but that would have brought me too high in points. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so this is literally what I do a lot to test out the efficiency, right? Of course, it's not the best test or anything, but it gives me an idea. The best test is to just play the game. All right, so let's say new opponent, different opponent. Unfortunately, not much ramp, but a lot of disruption coming up. I would keep this. Second turn, land, definitely am hemming him. Whatever he casts, I gotta just deal with it. Ooh, perfect card to just deal with it. Let's say he casted something stupidly good, Jusam, boom. Paralyze it, and I still got the mana, him. And guess what? I paralyzed it. He needs to pay that mana or else I'm gonna kill it next after I cast that. Right. So definitely I will cast Royal Assassin. Hopefully it stays alive. Let's say it doesn't. But at least this will keep whatever the opponent casts at bay for a bit. Very strong. If they have, by now, it's been a couple turns, they probably have only 2. I would definitely want to play that last him there. Right, so this keeps them from either attacking so much or attacking, but they can do other things for 2 bad moves. And then hopefully I get something perfect for first striker. And then this is an excellent card to ramp up again. Once things stall, I might opt for more than just 1, but I've seen 1 is the standard. Even they might not even have them, right? So, but definitely this deck, that's one of its huge drawbacks. Very strong initial, but very quickly fizzles out. So you gotta have a very strong disruption game. So that way, even if it starts fizzling, you're still up ahead, and then the opponent is waiting too many turns to get more lands, draw more cards to do whatever they need to do, right? So that the disruption in tandem with the cheap creatures that hopefully some survived with the cheap pump, makes this deck very strong. All right, so yeah, I'm pretty happy, and also pretty happy to have a totally different kind of deck. As you guys have known, for those who have seen several of my videos, basically the decks that I have are Urnamgeddon variations. Urnam, Bantamgeddon, Urnam and Ice. Actually, Urnam and Ice is what I'm trying for the next NEOS tournament, New England Old School. They have a monthly tournament. So I'm pretty excited because the format they're playing is Boreal, which basically allows 4 of everything, every card that's not normally restricted, right? So recall, depending on the format, may be restricted in one, but maybe allowed 4 of in the other ones. But Chaos Orb is always restricted. Moxes are always restricted, right? There's some cards that are sometimes restricted. Strip Mine, sometimes it's restricted. Sometimes you can play 4. Boreal, you can, unless it's one of the super strong ones that are always restricted, a Mox. Then Library of Alexandria, those are universally restricted. Other than those, you can have a full playset, right? So then I have, like I said, Erlen on Ice. That build has 4 Strip Mines in there, right? That's why I need to get that one from the other deck to put here. So, and actually I really like that deck, and as I was building it, and I really wanted to play it, but there was no chance of, no opportunities to use it, because that deck is Eternal Central. That I made it for Eternal Central. Eternal Central allows for 4 Strip Mines, but it only allows for 1 recall. So although that one was made for Eternal Central, I can play it in Boreal, but then I'm kind of scared because maybe I should, instead, I'm also doing a different kind of deck. I'm testing that out on Cockatrice, actually. I have all the cards, but since it shares with this one here, I didn't want to, swap the physical cards so much. But yeah, that's where I'm at now. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of games in. So I have preparing for the X points. This is now X points ready. Got the full 15 cards sideboard finished as well. So, and this may be my pet project for X points. I maintain a mono black, or at least black heavy deck for strictly for X points. Right, this deck will definitely work in regular old school as well, right? It's not like it doesn't get played, but it's particularly strong in X points because there's less of the overpowerness of the Moxes, and since your recalls, time walks, you're limited. So that's where this one, that's why I might just consistently keep this one handy for X points, or at least some kind of black heavy deck. Keep it for X points, and then have my other either Ernam-Geddons or Bantam-Geddons, whatever I decide to do for the traditional X points. So, but it's up to me, right? These are my cards. But for now, that's the idea, right? So that's why maybe I need a third one of these, because those are the main things that I'm playing. I'm playing 92, 94 old school, X points, and Alice. And there's other ones. The pre-modern is very interesting to me, right? But that's a lot of brand new cards, of brand new purchases, completely different than any of this, right? So so that seems to be way in the future, if I ever. But that'd be pretty cool, because since that does have that variation, right? Like I said, 1994 old school, Alice, back when they were really happening, they went together, right? Right, not so much the power 9, right? By that point, they had been banned from standard, or rotated out, right? Because Revised did not have the power 9. But still, Revised has 95% of the ABU cards, right? So still, still basically the same set, except without those extremely overpowered cards. Still has the dual lands, right? So dual lands with Ice Age was still a thing, right? So maybe not for long, right? Eventually, that phased out, but it's not like it never happened, right? It did. So that's why pre-modern is a pretty cool format, because it has a lot of sets, many years worth of sets. So it's really pretty good representation. But even that, it's also it's also new in that usually standard is 2 years worth of sets. Pre-modern is a bit like almost like a 8-10 year span of cards or something like that, like several years, like 5, 6, 7, several definitely, as opposed to 92-94 old school, right? Alice is just 95, 96 if I'm not mistaken, right? So just 1-2 years worth of cards. So pre-modern is very big because of that, and that never really happened, right? At least from my understanding, maybe it did, or at least partially did, right? Because by that point there were other legacy, right? Other things happening as well, right? So, which I never delved into. I just kind of know about it. So maybe I'm mistaken, but from my understanding, that full range, such a big wide range of cards being utilized was never a thing that happened until pre-modern came about, right? So it's its own thing, definitely. And because of that big wide gap of cards, it's just very intimidating to want to do, right? So even, of course, the cards are not as expensive, but definitely more expensive than Alice, especially any Ursa block cards, strong cards. Those definitely can rival the dual lands for price, right? Many of those cards beat the dual lands in price. Chaos Cradle, stuff like that. So that's, maybe that's either way down into the future. Maybe I never delve into it, or maybe I do it, but maybe on the budget, we'll see, right? But I have my hands full with just this, right? But I just wanted to kind of give a rundown mentally of, the things, the possibilities that are out there. Maybe somebody, as much as you like this, may the pre-modern excites you more, and they just delve strictly into that, right? So, just giving out different options. I signed up also for Singleton 92-94 old school, which is same old school, but you only allow one card, one copy of a card. So that's its own thing as well, right? So that's also similar to X-Points, where the decks are nerfed because you can only have one of, so you can't have 4 hymns, and it still has a lot of actually, I guess every card is restricted, right? Except for basic lands. But I think it has a lot of bang cards. Maybe I'm mistaken. I'll have to double check, right? But that's another one I may get into. But I think the main ones that I'll consistently come to will be 92-94 in its various formats, Alice, and X-Points, right? So definitely strongly considering a third box to accommodate me having those 3 decks readily available, swap them out, and then that just opens up these boxes that I have to grow my collection, right? Of both old school and now Alice as well, right? So this has been a good rundown of just the process of creating something new, how to test things out digitally, Cockatrice, the process, ordering the cards, seeing what you got, and then actually physically having the deck finished and now ready to be used, right? So hopefully this video has been pretty helpful, right, to give you a full scope of all those various steps. And I do want to make a video where it's actually from the very beginning, me developing a new deck, right? Of course, new is relative, right? It's all been done by now. Or at least many things have been done, right? There has been some newer stuff, but it's been several years by now, right? ATOG. The ATOG deck is a relatively new creation, right? It was the creation for old school, the old school format, right? Back in, when it originally happened in those days, that the deck as it is known now didn't exist, right? There were similar things going on, right? But not, what is now referred to as the ATOG deck, right? So that's new, right? So there's been developments, right? But for the most part, it's been done by now, right? So it's more, when I say me making a new deck, it's me just making up something new for me, right? That me personally, I haven't experienced, or maybe I have, right? But I'm tweaking it, kind of like I tweaked this, right? But this one, it was already finished. I had already done all the testing, right? I had already ordered the cards. I just literally just got them, right? So I think that could be a nice, interesting video, or definitely sets of video where I make something brand new. I get inspired by something. Okay, I kind of like this. Let me use Cockatrice. Let me build this. Okay, I like this, but let me switch this out. Okay, now let me look at my actual collection. Which cards am I actually missing to complete this? Okay, now let me order. Let me show you ordering. Just like previous videos, I had actually bought things live in the video. Right, so, kind of like going back to those, so you can see, the true scope of, full scope of research, practicing digitally, before committing cards, at least new cards that you don't have already, then committing to purchasing, ordering, having them delivered, opening them up, and then having the completed deck, right? So all that process of, from inception of the idea to ordering all the cards, and then having the deck totally finished. So I think that might be something that's coming up soon. As I, get inspired by something that I think would fit the bill of, that's different enough that will necessitates me to order new things. Create something that's, at least to me, new, right? Once again, these things have been created, but me, it may be something new to me. Like, I've been actually looking at a Land's Edge deck. I actually lost to one, at least something similar to it. And that, I really like that deck. It was like totally different than, I know theoretically I know about it, right? But theory and then actually having it being played against you are two different things, right? So, that, I really like the way that deck was going. So it gave me a lot of nice ideas, and it would have me needing a lot of cards that I don't have. Some cheap ones, some dual lands that I don't have, right? So it, if anything, that's the reason why I don't do it, because that would be a perfect thing to do for what I just described, but it would take several $1,000s to get some of those dual lands, right? So may I pick something else that's cheaper, right? Where I just need to buy, kind of like what you just saw right now, just cheap 40-cent cards, 50-cent cards, $2, $3, right? Just because something is cheap doesn't mean it's not strong, right? Just like you saw here. I got those Royal Assassins for less than $3 each. Those things are powerful in old school, right? So something more along those lines, right? Because I'm still paying off from all the previous things that I bought, right? So anything new that I do is kind of like, within budget of, plus since I already have so much, there's not much need for more at the moment, right? So unless I go totally different, like I said, right? Land's Edge, I don't have any dual lands that have red in it. So then that would necessitate me to heavily invest in something brand new that I wouldn't necessarily want to do, right? And then, it might not be worth it. Okay, I want to make this deck, but then if I buy these dual lands, will I use red and white again in another deck? And so that's why it's okay for me to spend, $1,000-$2,000 on these dual lands. Tiger, I believe it's red and white, right? So, I need to think about that, I do eventually want to have a full play set of all the dual lands in revised. I'm very close to halfway. I have 17. There's 40, I mean, there's 10, right? 10 times 4 is 40 because I want to place it. So I have 17, I need one. I have 3 underground rivers. I need underground sea. I need one more. And I got 2 scrub lands. So I need 2 more. That's the 3 I need to complete half of them. Those will probably come in first before anything else, because at least I have the full places, and then I'm more incentivized to play black and white because I already have the scrub lands. And then I'm more incentivized to play black and blue because I already have the 4 underground seas, right? And I have other dual lands that give me blue, so I can have, more colors than just black and blue, right? So, just playability is important, especially when you're spending so much thousands of dollars. You want your money to, have a big impact, right? So, all right. So other than that, I'm going to leave the video up to there with all those thoughts, right? I'm always thinking about so many things. That's why maybe I ramble so much, because there literally is the full scope of the game. Old school, it's so wide. And, unless you're got loads of money, you have to seriously think about so much about what is the next big expense you're going to do, because you can go in so many different directions, and and they're all very valid. So that's why, a lot of times I just talk about different things, because it's real. Those thoughts are real, those considerations are real, and I'm having them on these videos because those are things I think about, right? So, and if you're getting into this, you've been into this, you understand this as well. All right, so let me leave it up to there. Thank you for watching this video.